I came and watched a lot of Tekken tournaments here, and they're always so much fun. I've watched PokeChop stream and all that, so man, they got some killer players here in Atlanta. It's literally this kind of the place for Tekken here in Atlanta.
404, we've been holding strong because of the community and people outside of Georgia. We had a fundraiser donation to keep this venue a little bit more stable financially, and we got over $5,000 in donations. So, a lot of hype, a lot of great players out here. I love seeing the energy, the passion, the trash talk, everything. Pretty much the Tekken scene in Georgia is the definition of what the FGC is all about, you know? A lot of hype, a lot of growth, development, and competition.
What's going on? It's your boy M. My Sizzle. I know it's a little late. I know this is random, but I thought I wanted to talk about a little bit of stuff. Appreciate y'all coming out, kicking it with your boy M. My Sizzle. Look forward to having this interesting conversation with whoever's listening out there. Just thought I'd ask some questions and get a concept out there. So it's been a while, but welcome to Mike on the Mic for the record. Okay. How y'all doing out there? Hope everything's been going well with you. What I wanted to talk to you all about today, I want to talk to you about, well, first let me check this audio out, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure y'all ain't hearing double feedback. All right, it sounds like it's good. Y'all let me know if you'll let me know if stuff going on. So, subject today is so you gotta be right. What really sparked this was I was watching some videos earlier today, as I normally do while I'm at work, and I came across somebody talking about something, and I thought it was very interesting. Something I always notice when I talk to people or I see debates. I've often wondered, what makes people think that the way they look at it is the correct way, right? And I mean, this is from everything to political, to religious beliefs. Sometimes it could be as simple as something like, taste, favorite food, movie. And so this got me to thinking, like, what really creates these situations in our heads? What really makes you feel like you're so right and they're so wrong? Well, that's the premise of what we're going to talk about tonight. Like I said, I don't want to hold you long. I got to go to work in the morning. But the main question is, how did you come to believe what you believe? And why is your truth better than the next man's? To flesh this concept out, let's first take a look at what a truth is, right? Like, what exactly is truth? And no, we ain't talking about 404. All right, that's a balding nigga. All right, we ain't talking about him though. What exactly is truth? Well, if we look up truth, the dictionary, let's pull it up over here on the old Google sphere, right? If we pull up truth, somehow, what the hell is going on here? Junk didn't even bring up the window. It's always some bullshit going on, I tell you. Oh, I know how I can get this to work. Let me just put it in studio mode. There we go. There we go. If we look up the word truth, right? Trooth, if y'all want to know how to pronounce that. That's truth, okay? Truth as a noun, the quality or state of being true, right? That which is true in accordance with fact or reality. A fact or belief that is accepted as true. Now, when we look at that, right, that makes it kind of difficult. I mean, how can you define the word with the word, right? That doesn't make a lot of sense. We're looking for truth, a fact or belief that is accepted as true. So then, let's look at truth versus fact, right? Because if we look at what a fact is a statement that can be proven true or false, right? But a fact is also something that is indisputable based upon empirical research and quantifiable measures, right? So that kind of seems like that doesn't coagulate, right? What's going on with you out there, my G? Another thing about facts is they go beyond theories. They're proven through calculation, experience. There's something that is definitively occurred in the past, right? However, truth is something entirely different. A truth can include a fact, but it might also include a belief. So then that really boggles the mind, right? So you mean to tell me a truth is not necessarily a fact, but can a fact can be proven true or false? See, now we're going down this rabbit hole, right? Now we're really thinking about it. Like when somebody says these are the facts, to help wrap your mind around it, a fact could be false. Now, how is that possible? Right? Always believe in the facts, correct? But see, the way we use the word facts, we use it in a term of objective and subjective. So something being a fact might be false if you're using a subjective fact. So how do we understand the difference between an objective truth and a subjective truth? Well, an objective truth is a claim or a statement about a factual matter that can be proven true, but could also be proven false. A subjective claim or subjective truth, on the other hand, is not factual in matter. You know? It's not a factual matter. It's an expression of a belief, an opinion, or a personal preference. So there's a little confusion in that, because if we go back to what we saw earlier, what we read earlier, and I'll bring this up so you can see it. If we look at a fact, right, it says it can be proven true or false. Opinions can be based on facts or emotions. Sometimes they're meant to be deliberately misleading, right? So you need to be aware of the purpose when they use their choice of language. Once again, that is a difference between a fact and an opinion. But if we look back at fact and truth, a fact down here, a fact is a statement that can be proven true or false. That keeps coming back up and down, right? It keeps coming back to us. Here, it says that a fact is something that is indisputable. So how can these two things be true at the same time? How can something both be possibly false or true, but indisputable? Well, here's the thing. Let me give you a great example, right? If I go and I take a collection of 100 people, all right? And I say of 100 people, 50 of the people are men. It's a group of all men. Out of 50 of them, 55 of them, out of 100 of them, 55 of them pee the bed, right? 45 of them do not pee the bed, never have peed the bed. It is now a fact that I could state that based on my sample size, that 55% of men pee the bed, while 45% of men do not pee the bed. Does that make it true? Well, it's true for that sample size. If I'm taking that sample size and I'm applying it across the spectrum, well then yes, it is a true fact. But if I expand my sample size, it may turn out that those 55 people were the only 55 men that peed the bed. And that if I expand it out to 1,000, that it might be 55 men that peed the bed and 945 people that don't pee the bed. Now those facts have been proven false based upon what the theory and what the workaround was, what the research was, what was quantifiable at the moment. Something that I've always felt personally when I talk to people, I say facts to me, they're very relative, right? They exist, but they are very relative. And what I mean by that is, it was a fact at some point in time that the earth was flat. Until man got the ability, the technology, the know-how to realize that the earth was round, right? Now we got people who still don't believe the earth is round. I can't help them, all right? They going by their own facts, all right? Those are subjective those are subjective truths that they are going on, right? Once again, a subjective truth. It is a claim that is not a factual matter. It is an expression of a belief, opinion, or personal preference. So it is their opinion that because of some stuff that they saw, that, hey, maybe we being here on this earth, and I know I can walk from one side to the other side. If I take a boat, I can go from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth. But I don't really know that to be true. Maybe I can walk to the edge of earth. And we just don't know that because we ain't never walked to the edge of earth. Or maybe when you walk to the edge of earth, the earth starts spinning around you and it make it seem like you still going straight, but in actuality, you done turned back around. I don't know what they got out here, got people believing, right? But that's because they are believing in a subjective truth. These things are all very important because you'll hear a lot of people say, my truth, right? Based upon their experience. But is that something you can really rely on? Can you rely solely on your experience? Sometimes you can, right? To give you a great example, if it is my experience that when engaging in intercourse, hitting it from the back make that thing get wet, well, subjectively, my truth is hitting it from the back is the ultimate way to get it wet. But that could only be from my position, right? Somebody else might hit it from the back and say, man, when I hit it from the back, it's dry like sawdust back there, bro. It's only once you get on top. Are we both false? Are we both true? Well, subjectively, we're both correct. However, that's when you have to take into consideration objective truths, right? Let's look down here at objective truths, and we can take a look at that right quick. An objective truth, these are things used mostly in philosophy. And it's objective truth or falsity of things that human beings happen to believe or disbelieve is thus in one very obvious sense independent of whether those things are believed or whether disbelieved, right? It is in fact independent of the existence of human beings in their mental states, even if there had never been any humans. That's a little deep, all right? That's a little deep. So what does that mean? When we look at that, what does that mean? I'm going to ask you out in the chat. When you hear an objective truth and it says it's a fact regardless of how you feel about it, okay? Whether you believe it, whether you disbelieve it. In fact, it doesn't even matter if you existed. Hell, if I existed, this would still be a fact. How many of you agree with that? If you agree with that, put a 1 in the chat. Don't be shy. It don't take long to type 1. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got it on slow mode, I don't think. I know you out there watching. But listen. Do you believe that there are things that are just objectively true no matter about how you feel about them. I personally believe that. First, I personally believe that your feelings don't necessarily dictate what truth is. But that does not mean that your feelings are useless, right? That they have no value. One of the greatest talking points of, our modern era is that of the beliefs that there's two genders or two sexes or, a million sexes, a million genders. That's something that is really one of the biggest displays of this conversation that we're having here today. One of those things you could argue is subjectively true and the other one objectively true. But what about when they cross paths? What happens when the subjective starts to form into the objective? Is that even possible? These are just concepts that I'm giving out here just to give you something to think about, right? To bring it to the guys who are normally here, if you're a game player, you probably have played Tekken. You probably know about Tekken because that's kind of primarily what we do around here. Some people would say it's objectively true that Devil Jin is a top-tier player. Top-tier character. It is objectively true that Leroy is a top-tier character. But other people might say, I don't think he's that good because I can beat him. Is it possible for those two things to be true at the same time? Sure, you've heard me say more than one thing can be true at the same time, right? But what about when they are things that directly go against each other, right? How could that possibly be? Well, once again, that goes into perspective. And when we're talking about objective truths, those things, they are very much determined based upon what is known at the time. This is how something very subjective could become objective, right? When things are quantifiable, which are facts, usually objective truths are built upon facts. But as we learned earlier, facts are faulty in themselves. It's big brain shit, a little bit big brain shit, okay? Now we got A1 Digital out here. He said, man, look, I don't know how. Mike, what is you on? What is you on, Mike? Is you smoking something tonight, bro? I ain't smoking tonight, dog. You know what I mean? I know you might feel like it, bro. But I promise you, I ain't smoking nothing tonight. This is how my brain works. When I'm out here, y'all wonder why we whooping y'all ass and Tekken. Listen, it's because my brain works a slightly different, right? All right, so we got A1 Digital. He asked the question, what exactly encompasses them being top tier, though? It seems like anybody could wild out with anybody they practice with. That's true. So let's look at that. When it comes to top tier, there is an objective way to quantify top tier. When we're talking about the game, any game, any top tier player of any game, any sport, because there are things that are objective qualifiers. One of the things that makes an objective top tier character in a game like Tekken, right, would be accessibility to mix-ups, strength of their mix-up, right? Because if your character has a great accessibility to their mix-up, but their mix-up is not that good, like it's not that damaging, it's not that threatening, really doesn't matter if you have accessibility to your mix-up. Also, being able to uh, create the situations you want to create, which goes back to accessibility. Often ease of use is something that is factored into, but not always a determining factor of being able to be top tier. So let's take it away from something like Tekken. Let's take it to basketball. The reason you have stats, the reason you have various parameters by which you gauge a player is because you need to quantify things. You must make things factual, so then you can start building objective truths upon those factoids, right? Because without the facts, imagine trying to build something that is objectively true without any premise and backing. It'd be very difficult, right? To our earlier example, it's very difficult to argue to somebody if you don't have the facts that there are only two sexes or that there are multiple sexes, right? If I don't have the facts, I am then just making an opinionated argument versus a person who comes on one side of the aisle with facts. But what happens when one person comes with facts and somebody else comes with facts? Does that automatically make both of them objective? Not necessarily. That's when you have to do the fine-tooth comb and you have to check sources. This is why when you do things like the scientific method, it tells you to only have one variable, right? And then from that variable, you make all other experiments. You take all other experiments only having that one variable. Because if you don't have something that is controlled by which you start to base your facts upon, you know, whether that be data collection, whether that be, you know, experimentation with physics, chemistry, whatever it is, you cannot have too many variables, because then what's going to happen is you're going to end up with situations where one group does something and they have their group of facts and their beliefs are going to be built upon those facts. Then you're going to come with another group that has their beliefs built upon their facts, but their variables are different. So when they come to the head and they have this argument, you're not going to get anywhere, because what you're using on one side versus what they're using on the other side, they're not using the same variables. So if I just say, you know, the color gray is a very bright color, but in my experiment, the only thing I put it against was colors that were far darker than gray, then yes, gray will be a very bright color if I put it on spectrums of black and darker colors, you know, dark gray and all the way to black. And the only thing I'm changing is, you know, who knows what my variable may be. If I have X variable being the colors that change, but the X variable is only colors that change from a range of dark gray to black, and then I take it on in a whole nother group, and their variable is, they only got one variable, but the color range that they're paletting it against is, you know, white to bright yellow. Well, gray is definitely not going to be a bright color on one side, and on the other side they're going to say, yeah, comparatively to when we did our test, it came up being brighter than dark gray. It came up being, and it's like, okay, well then you have to form some middle ground when basing these arguments, and that is definitely something that we have to take notes on, right? We got to take notes on that. When it comes down to it, how do you know that your truth is better than my truth? We already learned you can't just say the facts, right? Because facts are determined by variables that may or may not be controlled, right? Facts are not even necessarily as solid as we like to think. As I gave you the example earlier, it was once a fact that the earth was flat until it wasn't until the earth was no longer deemed flat. As far as we know currently, it is a fact that we are the only, multi-cell organisms, or the only planet with multi-cell organisms with intelligence, high levels of intelligence. We may believe that there are animals somewhere else. We may believe that there's a planet out there with higher beings than us, or we may believe that there's some other intelligent group of aliens, alien to us, but we don't have any empirical evidence of that. That doesn't mean it's not true. This is why this stuff becomes so hard to understand, hard to comprehend by a lot of people, especially when you get outside of the realm of philosophy. In the realm of philosophy, this stuff is child's play, right? It's common talk. This is stuff that you learn in the first day of philosophy. Like these concepts of fact, objective truth, subjective truths. But what do they mean to the common man? And how can we apply what we're learning here today, what we're talking about here today, to our lives? Well, I wanted to have this talk because far too often we tend to get hung up on what we believe being true as the truth, right? Now, I'm going to state that again. What we believe to be true as being true. Shout out to my boy Marty. I asked him one time about a political conversation. And I think we're talking about maybe like Bernie Sanders versus Hillary Clinton. It was a while back, the joke was a long ass time ago. And I was asking him about something, and I don't really remember what we were talking about. But he told me, well, hey, I feel this way because the news source pretty much told me, this is what's going on. This is verified by a group of news people, right? I said, okay, that's cool. But I got my information from another news group. And their news is not coinciding with what you're telling me. So how do we determine which one is correct? Now you might argue, well, Mike, you just follow the paper trail, right? That's true, up until a point, right? How do I know that as an onlooker of such and such media, that what one group is telling me and another group is telling me, that they're not both lying, or that they're not both giving me the truth from different angles? See, a lot of times people get caught up in the idea of what they believe is right, when in fact, the only reason you believe what you believe is because somebody told you to believe it. Most things that we are very gung-ho about, most things that we hold very fast to, are things that were taught to us, or that somebody told us to believe. And enough people told us to believe it. Enough people around us convinced us that we should believe it, and therefore we believe it. Is it necessarily true? Doesn't have to be. Could it be? Yes. But it very well could not be true. Think about the game telephone. You all probably have played it before in your life. It's when you get in a circle, your kids, you get in a circle and one person says something into the ear and it passes along to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. And it's supposed to get all the way to the last person. And the last person is supposed to repeat it. But very often, that is not what happens. They end up, by the time it gets to them, a whole nother phrase is coming out their mouth, right? Now, if that person was never around the very first person, all right? If they were never around the first person, and somebody asked you, yo, what did that first person say? Well, the first person said, I love Snickers. By the time it got all the way around to the other person, the last person said, oh, they said, I hate, and you know what words could be assumed there, right? Now imagine, by the time it got to him and he said that, he said he hates hard R's. Now, when he said that, let's say that somebody took offense to him saying that. So he said, what? I don't care if he playing no game or he ain't playing no game. He said, what? So then that person goes and confronts the first person. And the first person's like, yo, man, what's going on? I said, no, don't yo, man, me, bro. I heard what you said. And he's like, no, what you mean? You heard what I said? Yeah, I heard what you said in the telephone. You think that junk is cute, my nigga? You think that junk is cute? He's like, no, what you talking about? I said, I love Snickers. He's like, no, don't try to play with me now. He pulls the gun out, blows his brains out. As far as he knows, he had the right to be offended. Not the right to take his life, but you know, people are crazy. People do what they do. But as far as he knows, he has the right to be offended. But let me ask you in the chat. Was he right? That was his truth. It's the only information he had. Was he correct though? I'll give you some time. Sip on me some of this Crown right quick. Take a sip. I ain't gonna wake up on time in the morning. Look, don't be shy. You can participate. Well, listen, I'll give you the answer, all right? I'll give you the answer. Some of y'all, it's late. Some of y'all might be asleep. He wasn't right. That's right. That's right. And this is where we all should be, but so many people fail to do the investigative work. So many people fail to do the investigative work that is needed to make things happen, right? To really find out what's really going on, okay? What's really going on? But see, that's an integral part of our society, and it's an integral part of why we're having this discussion. How much stuff, I want you to think about this. How much stuff do you personally believe that you've actually verified? How many beliefs do you have that you hold dear and you argue people down about it? I mean, argue them down. That you've actually even done a modicum of research on. Have you ever fact-checked the facts? Do you even care to fact-check the facts? Or do you like running around being loud and wrong? or loud and right. You could be correct. Now, I'm not here to just browbeat folks to death, but this is just something I wanted to talk about right quick. I really wanted to get people to really think about things, right? Really get your brain flowing. I really want you to understand that there's always the other side to the coin. This is going to help you with perspective. This helped me plenty in my life, being able to zoom out and understand that, okay, I believe something. It seems very credible to me. But what if it's wrong? What if I am incorrect? Allowing yourself to be incorrect will help you a lot in life. The problem is a lot of people are afraid to be incorrect. A lot of people are afraid to have really put their nuts on the line, right? Really put their neck out there, only to find out that shit is 100% wrong. Just 100% wrong. It's a hard pill to swallow, and most people don't really want to swallow it. But I mean, you're probably more wrong than you're right in your life. That's just some food for thought I wanted to give y'all, man. Listen, if y'all want to, y'all can donate. You know what I'm saying? Hit it up. Throw some gold in here for the gospel. You know what I mean? Or better yet, hit up this Matcherino and support THT. You know what I'm saying? Get out there. We're trying to get that prize pool up even higher. I think we're close to 1,100 right now. We got a few more weeks in there, so go ahead and check that out. We'll be having the All-Star game coming up pretty soon. Make sure that y'all follow us, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you check out the website. What it do, fam? What it do? Holla at you. What's going on with you, player? You know what I mean? Go ahead and make sure y'all check that out right there. Make it happen. If y'all want to follow me on the socials, you can follow us right then and there. All right. Good old place. You can go and check us out. Discord. By the way, Discord. Let me talk to some of you guys that are in here. If y'all want to follow us in Discord, we're probably going to be doing a wipe of the Discord because we've noticed that there hasn't been a lot of use of the Discord. And I mean, that's a little bit our fault, right? What we're planning on doing, if you've been in there and you ain't said nothing in like 3 months, we're probably going to end up wiping you out. Now, you're always free to come back. We're going to revamp it. I definitely want to get in there and have real discussions, some more philosophical thought process, some more philosophical discussions, I should say. Definitely going to have the game and stuff. I think it just needs to be more prioritized, more organized. Right now, there's no real reason. Well, as of late, there really hasn't been a reason. There has been a lot of inactivity in the Discord, so I definitely want to make it useful, right? I want y'all to have a reason to come in there. We're looking forward to creating more content like this, looking to bring back Mike and Marty. We just on the lookout for some more Mike on the mic. Y'all know what it is, man. Hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed talking to you and just trying to do something to, no, it's not a long stream, but just something to get your brain, stirred up, fired up. You know what I mean? I want y'all to have mental capacity beyond that of playing a game, right? Ain't nothing wrong with playing a game either, but it is what it is. Hey, shout out to Hawaii, player. Shout out to Hawaii. Hey, man, we trying to do our best out here. Got to do what we got to do. Got to get the production up. We're trying to bring, look, Tech and House is looking to be what nobody else is, right? We're trying to provide quality for you in a way that you just don't normally get. You know, we try and doing that with the THT. I know it's hard for people to understand it, but, you know, and they're going to steal it. We already know that. We already know somebody's going to steal the THT idea, all right? THT Teams is just, it's hella fire. You know, Red Bull going to steal that shit. Somebody going to come along and steal that shit. We already know it. You ain't even got to tell me twice. I already know somebody going to try to steal the shit. But listen, we're going to keep this high quality content coming. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to 404. Shout out to the Atlanta Tech and scene. You know, y'all are the stomping ground for and the backbone for TKN House as it is. Shout out to Ice. Oh, shout out to Yoshi for the sub. You know what I mean? Much appreciation. Shout out to Yoshi. Make sure y'all check her out. Fire with the graphics. Fire with the content. She stay on it. You know what I'm saying? She stay on it. I be trying to stay on it, but you know how it is with your boy Mike, man. I be trying to be consistent, but I'm over here doing all the graphics. You know what I'm saying? I'm typing shit up. I'm doing shit on the website. I'm sending out tweets. I'm out here getting busy. But we can get Iceman his computer. When we get Iceman his computer, then we can lighten the load on your boy Mike a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Ice. He be getting the background stuff done. You know what I mean? Getting that paperwork done. Typing up the scripts and shit. So you gotta show love to Ice. Make sure y'all go over there and drop Ice a follow if y'all don't already. We look to be having some of this content, like I said, on both of our channels. Maybe you might even be seeing Ice appear on this channel, streaming over here on this channel. So, you know, always be prepared. Also, shout out to RC Mac Panther 22. If you go follow him, he's going to be doing the THT breakdown, bi-weekly breakdown. So he's going to be talking about the last matches that went on. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us over there at Cut West. Now, see, Cut West, when you start doing shit like that, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen. You start doing shit like this. See, I don't even know why you got yourself involved in this, but now that you got yourself involved in this shit, oh, let me see what I can do right here, bro. Hold on. Damn, I don't even know how to do this shit. Hold on, bro. How do you do this shit? I'm fucking up. Damn, I'm fucking up. Oh, there we go. Boom. There we go. There we go. Make sure that y'all, there we go. Damn, what's going on with this shit? Yeah, there we go. Go up under there. Make sure y'all check these out, right? Check out Lord Iceman. Also, make sure y'all check out RC Mac Panther. Start a prediction. Oh, you can do that? I didn't know you could do that. All right, cool. I didn't even know I had that. See, I'm learning shit on the fly as we speak. There you go. See what I'm saying? You out there doing work. Now you're a mod. There we go. Appreciate you. Listen. You know, I didn't know that mods... Is VIP higher than a mod or lower than a mod? I don't be knowing. But nonetheless, appreciate y'all coming out here, enjoying the show. I'm going to see if I can throw it to somebody else. I appreciate y'all coming out, man. As usual, having a blast. I look forward to seeing y'all again in the future. I will holla at you. I might need to throw a freestyle over this thing. Speed riding, bro. Woo! with this liquor shit. I'm sipping and I'm tipping, I'm dripping just like that clone. Fucking with your boy, I just tell that bitch knock it off, but not that top off that top. You know what she loves. She got dick in her mouth and yeah, she grubbing. That's that Tuesday. She eating it like birthday cake. And I supply the icing for her. And I supply the icing for her. She said she love it, but I got this thing up in her mouth. And you know she coming back, about to stop right on the spot. Make it hot, make it drop, make that thing ride around. Ain't playing with that baby girl, gonna throw it down. I'm in the street now, I'm in the street, I'm in the street, I'm in the street. Girl, I got that thing that you want, what you everybody gon' see what the truth gon' be. And that's the jitter, that's the jitter, that's that real shit. I'm reflecting on these images. I'm speaking and reflecting, I'm projecting with these words. Ain't no need, no curves. Y'all niggas catch the curve when she be on the curve. Pull up, then I swerve. She like, ain't he got some nerve? I'm that real nigga. I'm a real nigga. I'm a real nigga. Watch her flag me down like heel figure. Ain't that something now?